disclaimer that my opinions are just my opinions. They are my unsolicited opinions, and that's just all they are. So the reason why I've been MIA for a little bit is because I have been battling depression. I started battling depression when I was about 13, and I am now 52. And I have what's called functioning depression. So functioning depression means that in my depression, I'm still able to laugh, joke, take care of myself, other people, look like I'm having the time of my life, but deep down inside, I am depressed. I also can go into severe depression, which has been happening to me. I've gotten to the point where I stay in the bed 2-3 days. No eating, no drinking, nothing, just laying in the bed. And so I want to talk about, depression, and my unsolicited opinion is that depression, in my opinion, does not get the awareness and does not get the help / or spotlight that I feel like it deserves. Because I have found in the past, if you tell someone that you are depressed, they're very much like, oh, okay. I've had some family members who looked at it like that. They're quick, if you're depressed, they're quick to be like, oh, you're going to have to get over it. You're going to have to, do something. You're going to have to get up out the bed. You're going to have to do this. But little do people understand how hard that is. Little people understand the work that it takes to get up and get out of the bed when you are fighting depression. If I was to tell people that, oh, I'm bipolar or schizophrenic, it would get in my opinion, a more stern and more in-depth feeling of, oh my goodness, But very seldom have I ran across people that understand what depression is. And if you know someone or you yourself are battling depression, know someone that's battling depression, whether it's loved one, family member, go in the comment and put hashtag fight the battle. That's what I'm going to come up with. Hashtag fight the battle. It is very, very rough. And people who battle depression, they know that it's very, very rough, that it almost hurts and it's almost painful to get up, to wake up and move throughout your day. There was times where I got up and someone said something to me in just ordinary, asking me a question of how I feel, or just, something totally random, and I began to cry. I just, I break down, and then it's like, they're like, are you okay? What's wrong? It's like, I'm okay, because you don't want to talk about it anymore because, you don't want to cry, you don't want to get angry. Because another thing that happens that I find when it comes down to, when I'm in my depression, is every negative emotion that you could ever have comes up when you are battling depression. That's for me. I don't know what it's like for other people, because everybody also has different signs when it comes down to depression. someone that sleeps all day, or someone that has insomnia. All of those are signs of depression. You know, you can see someone that doesn't really take care of themselves that great. Someone whose house isn't as clean as you think it is. Those are all signs of depression that I found. When I'm severely depressed, I isolate myself and I just stay in the bed, you know. Also, like, I want a mass awareness when it comes down to depression, because people that I have ran into it or that I have dealt with really, really don't understand. They really have no clue about how bad it can get. And so I have made the decision to try therapy again. I tried in the past. I had like 3 or 4 therapists. It just didn't work. It didn't work because I felt the same way as I left when I got there. I didn't feel like anything was resolved. I did not feel like anything was, you know, taken care of. And I know some people say, oh, well, you got to give it time. I'm like, you know, I did. I gave it time. So this time I really got to feel like I have got to keep going until I get that fit with the therapist. So I have my first therapy appointment Saturday. And I'm just hoping that things start to change, you know. And I'm also want to go on this, you know, take you guys on this journey with me, because maybe it could help someone else who is battling and going through the same thing that I'm going through. I saw a couple yesterday while I was thumbing through my social media, and the one thing that they said that kind of stuck out for me, and which I'm going to try to apply to my life, is that they said, you know, they do their social media, they create their content with purpose. And that kind of really hit to me, because I'm like, I started my channel basically because a lot of people was like, oh, you're so funny, you should, you know, start a YouTube channel. I think it would be really, really good. And I kind of started with kind of like, okay, let me see. And I kind of think that's why I haven't really been consistent with it, because I really didn't have a clear purpose. And now I'm thinking to myself, like, my number one clear purpose right now in this moment is to get my depression under control. Is to dig up and do work so I can try to keep myself, you know, on a clear and steady path for, you know, mental health. Because we all know that mental health is still not a acceptable topic to talk about. It's still, mental health is still not something that people are openly discussing. A lot of cultures and a lot of families don't believe in mental health. They don't believe in going to see therapists and psychologists. You know, they truly believe that, oh, you just got to do one thing or the other and you're okay, you know. But I want to say this to anyone out there who is battling with depression right now, is first and foremost, don't give up. to the point where I was like, I wanted to give up, you know. But at least you're still fighting. At least you're still, you know, willing to wake up every day. That's the first important thing, is that, you know, I wake up every day. Even when I'm lying in my bed and just scrolling through my phone, you know, it's like, okay, I'm awake, you know. Another thing that I find that helps when I'm in my depression, and not so much as when I'm severely depressed, but I will try it if I'm severely depressed, is my routines, my hygiene routines, my makeup routines. You know, sometimes I will get up, I will shower, I will give myself a facial, you know, I will, you know, put some clean clothes on, I will move around and straighten up, even though, you know, I feel like crap, I'm angry, I'm crying, I will move around. My number one thing that, I don't know if you guys know, if I talked about it, is that crocheting is my passion. I can sit and crochet for hours and hours and hours. I always say that, you know, I want the soft life to where I sit on the couch, create content, and crochet. That's what I want to get paid with. That's exactly what I want to do. I will force myself when I'm severely depressed, and you know, you're at the point where you don't want to do nothing. I will force myself to crochet a little bit, you know, and then lay back down. So those are some of the things that kind of help me. Right now, I am lucky and I am happy that I have support. I've never had support before when I went through this, you know, my depression, but I have support now. I have a best friend who basically is like, oh, y'all shaking, I'm sorry, this road is not that smooth, but I digress. Who messaged me, you know, every day, and it's just like, you got to push through. You have to, I'm here, you know, talk to me. You can't, you know, I'm worried about you. You can't stay in the bed all day. You can't isolate yourself, you know. And that's another important thing, because not one time does she make me feel like I'm wrong or anything negative like that. She absolutely, positively sits there and say, what can I do for you? You know, talk to me. What do you need? And that is incredibly important when you are fighting depression. So right now I'm on my way to work. Trying to push through, trying to, you know, make it until Saturday. I really just plan on taking it one day at a time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out the bed tomorrow, but at this point, I have plans to, and, you know, I'm just worried about getting through today. And being extremely hopeful that this therapy purpose that I have, is going to be a good fit for me. I'm actually going to see some progress. Because if not, then I'll just have to go on and search for another one. But I really feel like I need to vlog on this journey, because for some reason I feel like it'll help, and I also feel like my purpose will be for vlogging through this journey is to absolutely positively shine a light on this, and for someone else to feel like they're not alone. That would be my purpose, that they're not alone, that there's somebody else out here that is feeling the same way you feel, going through the same thing that you're going through. To be totally transparent with you guys, I am 52 and my life is not where I feel like it should be. And I know that at times that adds to my depression. But it's not the main cause. I don't even know what the main cause is. All I know is that I start feeling depressed, but I keep going and keep going, and I don't address any issues of the situation, and then boom, it's so bad to where I am where I'm at now. Those are some of the things that that I believe that I'm going to have to do a serious deep dive with my therapist to get to some core issues of why is this coming up the way it does. Another thing is that I'm not a big fan of medication. That is going to be the absolutely positively very, very last thing that I do. I want to concentrate more on cognitive therapy and homeopathic type of remedies. I've never been the type of person that believed in medication, because I always feel like for every ailment that you have, or for everything that's going on with you, there has to be a natural remedy for it. I mean, I still believe that God put everything in the earth that we need to heal ourselves. I really feel and believe like when we take a lot of those medicines, that chemically changes our body, and I don't. This is my unsolicited opinion. Disclaimer, I do not want to be on pills and then I get to the point where I really can't function without them. That's always been a concern of mine. I'm just saying that's just for me. I will not, under any circumstances, tell anybody else not to get medicated. That's just for me. That's just how I feel about medication for myself. But being on the road of being physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy for myself, this is going to be extremely hard, but I have to push myself because I don't want to be in this because I really don't believe, and this is my, again, unsolicited opinion, that you get cured from being depressed. I don't feel like you get cured. I feel like you learn how to, cope with a lot of things that may be triggers. You get to the point where you feel it coming on and you can counteract it, but I don't feel like you ever get cured. So I'm not going to sit there and say, I want to get cured from depression. But I definitely do not want to fall so hard into depression to where I am at the point right now where it takes everything in me to get out of bed. That is very hard. And I know a lot of people probably don't understand why is that so hard to get out of bed, like when you wake up. It is because, for me, I'm just going to talk about myself. You're in a lot of emotional pain. And when you wake up, that emotional pain starts when you wake up to when you go to sleep. And you're in a lot of emotional pain. And you do not want to face going outside of your door, because it's like you don't want someone saying the wrong thing to you that can set you off. You don't want to, cry. You just want to be 100% left alone. That's kind of like where I am right now. I just want to be left alone. I really don't want to talk because I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to rain on nobody else's parade. I don't like being around people when I'm like this, because I kind of feel like I'm not good company around them. And I'm not, so that's where I basically isolate myself, just stay in bed all day, just, strolling social media. That's it. I may laugh every now and then for something that's funny, but it doesn't take away the fact that, I'm still severely depressed. I may have a little escape, but not that I'm severely depressed. So I decided I would come on here and let you guys know what's been happening, what's been going on, and how I'm going to continue to try to vlog every day. I'm going to try to vlog to hold myself accountable and to basically, I guess I could say try to be a spotlight for somebody else that's out there, because I think people that suffer mental illness, there is a community, but we basically don't get a chance to tap into that community that often, because we don't know where the community is, so to speak. So I say that, we start our own community and reach out to someone else who we know is having a hard day or a rough day, and just spread words of encouragement. Hashtag let's fight together. Hashtag we're fighting the battle. Hashtag you're not alone. Hashtag you're good enough. And, hashtag your future is brighter than what's going on today. I don't want to keep talking because I feel like I'm just going to be crying hysterically. And nobody wants that. So, everyone, have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. No matter what you're going through, hold on. Sorry guys, I had to get past this truck that's looked like it's about to break down, but hold on to your faith, hold on to your sunshine, hold on to the fact that brighter days is coming, because it can't rain all the time. So do me a favor, share this video. Share this video to someone that you know needs to hear it. Share this video to someone who is battling mental health, depression. Share this video to loved ones and friends, because no matter what, there always is, it's going to be a tomorrow. So even in my state, I want to say keep your head up and keep trying, keep fighting, keep battling, because at the end of the day, you are important.